What's up, Dragon Brood? So, for those of you who don't know, Magic Legends just released, and I don't know, I guess we can call it the hot new game from Cryptic Studios, but people are curious, is it actually free to play? And I think that's a hard question to quantify for a lot of folks, but it's something people really want to know. Like, can I play the game and really get fun out of it without spending a lot of money? Because otherwise, it's not really free to play, is it? And some people may try to liken it to Magic Arena, where though it is free to play, some people have spent a lot of money on Arena. So let's get into the specifics and talk about how free to play is Magic Legends. Now, first things first, I think for us to really quantify if something necessarily needs money spent on it or not, we'd have to try to figure out what the purpose is of spending the money and then decide if that purpose really has a lot of weight or not. And since we don't know, we're going to have to dive into that a little bit. But the difference for this versus several other free to play games is that there isn't really a competition, right? I don't gain anything by making my account bigger, better, faster, stronger than you do. Like, you can play the game on your time, how you want, and never even interact with me if you don't want to, in all reality. So, in that regard, there's really nothing that needs to be spent. It's just a matter, I guess, of how much time you choose to take to do what you want. But then the question becomes, well, is the game going to be a real drag if I don't spend that extra money? So, let's look into the ways you can actually spend money and how currency works in Magic Legends, and then we can kind of expand on that a little bit. Now, the first thing to understand is that there are a couple of different types of currencies within the game, and they're pretty straightforward. So it's not like the gems in Magic Arena where you kind of have to figure out what a gem is worth, right? In this game, they have what they call Zen for coins, and the Zens are basically $1 per 100. So I guess they're like a penny a piece. So here, where you're looking at something like this loadout and deck slot, it's 500 Zen, which would basically be $5. So pretty easy to figure out. And for each tier you buy, whether you want to buy like 1,000, you want to buy 5,000, 10,000, whatever, there are bonus Zen for buying larger packages. So there is that. So they do become cheaper as you spend more. But looking here, what is it that there is to buy? Right here, this is just costume pieces. This unlocks some skins, nothing real fancy about this, so this isn't something you necessarily have to buy. The Legends Battle Pass isn't bad. This actually lets you get a variety of rewards as you hit bonus levels throughout various achievements in the game. And you're going to get rewards anyway. This just gives you a bonus reward at every single thing. So it kind of doubles up rewards in a way, though they're not always the same for that double. But it just gives you more options. So could that help you advance your character faster and get a few more things, maybe even advance your spells? Yes, absolutely. So this would be a $10 purchase, probably one of the few things I'd say you probably would benefit from if you plan to play a significant amount of time in the game. The loadout and deck slot is exactly what it sounds like. You can spend 500 Zen to let you get an additional loadout and additional deck slot. And this is like, top to bottom, how you spend all your items, how everything's equipped. Like, you can just have another package. So, maybe you're playing a character where, let's say you're playing the red mage, right? Where maybe you're playing a package where it's all spells and fireballs and whatever, and you have items to facilitate that, maybe give you extra mana and everything else. But you might have a different version of the character where you're putting in spells that have a bunch of creatures you've summoned, and maybe you're equipping items that enhance your creatures. So this would give you the ability to have an extra slot for that deck and an extra slot for that loadout. So you don't have to worry about taking the time to put stuff in or out. Probably saves you like 2 or 3 minutes every time you want to do it if you memorize what you want. But it's $5 if you choose to just have that convenience. So this is just a convenience spin more than anything else. Now, one thing that could be something people want is it looks like they're going to have rotating deals every day. And with these deals, you have the ability to get spell pages. Spell pages are important because once you get a certain amount of them, it lets you upgrade that spell. Well, here, let's say you wanted to buy this because you have to have the spell first. You could get 600 spell pages for the Light Piercer Angel spell. Now, the reason this is big is for some of these, you only need like 160 pages, I believe, for the first level, and maybe like 250 for the second level, something like that. So, this is probably 3 to 4 levels worth of pages for that spell, which is actually a big deal. So, something to consider. It's like, do you need this? No, you would be able to do this over the course of this probably saves you a couple of days worth of playing to just shortcut upgrading this particular spell. Now, it'd be a little weird because some of your other spells would still be level 1 or 2 while this one ended up being like level 4, but it is a thing you can do. So, not going to turn my nose up at it and say it's absolutely worthless, but I also don't think it's absolutely necessary either. Now, the one thing that is random they have are these things called booster packs, and booster packs right now give you the only option to get the Dimir Assassin that I could find. So if you want the Dimir Assassin, you're going to have to buy booster packs and basically gamble. There's not that many different things you get from the booster pack, so it sounds like you're probably going to get it. If you open 3 or 4, you'll probably get one. But it's not like these are cheap either. You know, they're 1200 gold. The Zen, I guess. I want to say gold, but 1200 Zen. So I don't know. I mean, I guess if you just want the extra skin, there's something in it for you. But truthfully, I would probably pass on this as well. So far, there's only 1 or 2 things that I think would be worth having, but even then, they're not necessary to play the game at all. If you want to look at that battle pass, this is what that is. It actually lets you kind of skip through and say, okay, when you hit level 2, you'll get this thing. It's totally free. Basically, some spell pages for the Benelux archers, but you would also get the Griffin skin, which is kind of cool. So your Griffins, I guess, look cooler. But you also can get a gold chest at level 4. But in addition to the gold chest, you'll get white spell pages and refined aether chests. So that makes it easier for you to get the refined ether. So you can see like every level, you're just getting a bonus thing. And some of it sometimes just cosmetics. There's not even things that are actually like advancing your stuff. Like here, this would be a really good level. This one, it's like, it's kind of just a costume piece. So like, do you really care? You know, there's a skin. So it's like not the biggest thing, but on the levels where you are getting actual rewards, it could be pretty nice. But again, not completely necessary. Here's the stuff on the booster pack if you want to know about the Dimir Assassin. You do randomly get one of what they call a silver tier item and then one of a gold or grand tier item, which is basically what that Dimir class would be. And then an average of 10 Imperium shards, which you use the shards. Here you go. We go to the Imperium store. And then here's more things you could buy. So more equipment, more things. Just if you have the shards, it's just like another form of currency. Now, when you start the game, you do get a class and you get to work from that class. Now, if you want to open an additional class, you have to spend the 1500 Zen. To my knowledge, there's not another way to do that just yet. I could be wrong. But if you want to do that, okay, that's a thing you can do. The only downside I would say to doing this, though, is that you don't even get starter spells with it. You just unlock that class. Now, I can tell you, my main character is a Beast Caller, and it's up to level 14 now, I believe. And I do have a handful of spells that are black and white, I think. So I would already have some spells to play if I jump started my way into one of these. But it does cost you if you want to have those other ones available. I don't know if there's going to be other ways to unlock those in the future, but that is a way that they can make some extra money here. And then these are just boost and services, as they call them. So again, there's the loadout slot, but if you want an extra costume slot, which is obviously what it sounds like, head to toe, dressing your character up. If you want to rename your character because you don't like the name you chose for whatever reason, if you want an extra character slot, so you can have more characters on your account, you could do that. And then these are just boost rewards, exactly what they sound like. So rewards you're getting from enemies, rewards you're getting from missions. And you can get 1 or 5 in a pack, kind of your choice. Actually, this one has 15 if you want to get the mission boost. So kind of your choice of how you want to do it. Again, these help move you forward, but I don't know if I'd say they were necessary. Now, one thing that is interesting here that I don't know if everybody's discovered yet, but you have this, what they call your wallet, which shows your currencies that are available. So you have Zen, which we talked about. You can just purchase that. These are the Empyrean fragments, which you find kind of in various ways. Right now, it just says they're acquired in booster packs in the store. So I guess that's the only way to get them right now. And then there's Ether, and then there's unrefined Ether. Unrefined Ether you find out in the field, but over time it's turned into refined Ether. There's some time delay where that happens. So that's available for you to use for some of your spells to increase those, and there's a few other things you could spend it on. But they do have an exchange, which is very interesting. So you could spend Zen to purchase some amount of refined Ether. So if you do wish to buy some Ether to, I don't know, maybe you're short to be able to level up some spells, well, you would be able to use some money for that. You can hop in here. This is almost like an auction house, so to speak. So there's people selling stuff for various quantities, and you can just make the sale however you want there. It also tells you can buy Zen, but you could also sell Zen, which is another thing. So maybe you sell the Zen for a certain amount of Ether. So maybe, there's it kind of goes both ways. Like you can purchase Zen and you can sell Zen. So it's whichever way you want to go about it, I guess. But this is another way you can acquire it without actually doing anything. So if you do want to go out and play a bunch and get a bunch of refined Ether, you can just buy Zen this way, right? You can say, hey, I want to get, somebody's offering 99 Zen for, 391 Ether. Cool. You want to make that exchange? Go for it. And I'm sure this will change daily based on the number of people in the game, kind of what levels people are at and what people want. Because it may be possible that at the higher levels, you want more Ether. So maybe it takes more to level up your spell. So some people may be willing to just buy a pile of Ether to make their life easier. Make whatever the offer is, and then somebody would offer to buy it from you. Or vice versa. Same thing here. You're offering 50 Ether in exchange for 1 Zen. So you can kind of set your rates and see what's going on. And then I guess here, if you had somebody who was wanting to buy something, you have to confirm or whatever, I'm assuming. And then the history of all your purchases. So another way that you can do it, even without actually spending any money, you can kind of go in there and you can turn your Ether into Zen as well and have something to spend that way. So kind of up to you. Now that we've talked about everything you can spend money on, how much does it change your experience? And truthfully, I don't know if it changes a lot. I think you can go in, you can play. As a matter of fact, I bought the Planeswalker bundle just to have the different costumes and stuff. But even without that, if I hadn't played or spending, I feel like I got the Mastery Pass or Battle Pass, I think they call it. But I haven't even hit level 1 yet to start cashing in those rewards. So, I'm 2 days in playing, probably a total of like 8 or 9 hours. And I don't feel like I'm missing anything by not spending extra money at this point. I think I can still play all the levels I wanted to. There's some spells I would like to see what they would do as they get leveled up, but I'm okay waiting. I don't have to spend extra money to do that. Overall, I don't think my game experience is going to be impacted by me not spending anything. Now, will I spend? Yes, me personally, I do have a personal moral belief that if I'm using a thing for significant amounts of time every day, I am totally willing to spend some amount of money at least once a month to supplement that so they can keep the servers running or pay their development team or whatever it is. But I don't think I need to be spending more than like $10 a month even in this game. Maybe 20. I can't really see that. I mean, comparatively on Magic Arena, I spend like $20 usually for their Mastery Pass, or I think it comes out to like 22 USD. And that lasts like 3 months. So that's like $7 and change every month. And I'm probably going to play this less than I play Magic Arena. So yeah, if I spent $10, I'd be happy with that. So I would say, yes, this game does qualify as free to play. I think there's a lot to do at every level. There's plenty to explore in each zone so far. So I don't really think the amount of money you spend is going to impact that fun very much. Only downside could be potentially if you have some friends that already play and you want to level up faster to be closer to what they're doing. That's probably the only thing I think would be affected. But generally speaking, no. I would say Magic Legends so far appears to be pretty truly free to play. Most of their money is going to be made off of cosmetics or convenience of having like extra loadout slots and things of that nature. So yeah, I would give this one the truly free to play stamp of approval or whatever we decide we're going to do. So yeah, let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. And if you have something else you want to know about the game, let's talk about it. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.